We will call the Thursday, September 22nd, City of Hayes Commission meeting at 6:30 to order. 3 of the 5 commissioners are present, so there is a quorum. First item of the order of business is the consideration of approval of the minutes from the regular meeting on September 8th, 2022. Questions, changes, or comments?
None.
For me.
None. They will stand as presented. Now we will consider accepting the financial statement for the month of August 2022. Mr. Rubb.
Thank you. This is a financial summary of revenue and expenditures for the City of Hayes, month ended August 31, 2022. Revenues in August totaled $1,904,403. That's a decrease of $772,600 compared to the same period last year. Some notable areas of increased revenue comparing to August of 2021. Transient guest tax for CVB was up $343,000 due to the timing of receipts. This was received in July of last year. However, year-to-date, transient guest tax is up $250,379. MIH funds for Frontier Apartments increased $147,800 due to a pass-through reimbursement process for them this month. Special Parks miscellaneous revenue was up $20,400 due to an insurance reimbursement on the Larks Park netting. And residential water consumption was up 8%, while business was down 3.5% for August. The conservation tier was up 14%. That translates into total revenue up $15,500. Year-to-date, total August consumption and revenue are both up 1% each. Notable areas of revenue decrease. Most significant revenue decrease to report for the month is the timing of sales tax. We didn't receive those funds until September 1, therefore we were down $1,174,000 in that line. Expenditures in August totaled $5,013,379. That's an increase of $678,000 as compared to 2021. Some increases in expenditure. Other contractual expenditures for the Bickle-Schmidt Sports Complex increased $8,600 for painting of signposts, as well as new soccer football goals. And as mentioned above, those MIH pass-through funding increased economic development $147,800. Fleet maintenance continues an increase up $12,000 when compared to a year ago, due mainly to fuel costs, but also a rise in labor and parts for repairs. Special highway budgeted capital projects were up $106,000 due to final payments on the 27th Street project, as well as crack sealant for the ongoing street maintenance program. The 2022 sanitary sewer line cleaning increased water reclamation expenditures for building and structures $53,000 when compared to this time last year. Notable areas of decreased expenditure. Projects for the City Commission Capital Reserve fell $46,000 as a result of installation of shade structures at the Bickle-Schmidt Sports Complex a year ago. And the construction of the multi-use path connecting to Hayes Med last year dropped projects for special parks by $80,000. Excuse me. Making a current period adjustment due to the late receipt of sales tax. Month-to-date general fund sales tax collections were at $750,046. That's an increase of $10,700 or 1.4% compared to last year. Year-to-date general fund sales tax is at $6,027,935, up $524,000 or 9.5% from a year ago. 6-month average is at 7%. That was a drop of 5.6% when compared to a year ago. Month-to-date county sales tax collections were at $93,000, up 3.5%. Year-to-date county sales tax is at $735,000. The report of top 10 quarter-to-date sales tax collections by classification was up $78,383 or 3.3%. Those top 10 represent 73% of the total sales tax collections for the running quarter. Finally, the portfolio certificates of deposit on August 31, 2022 totaled $3 million with a weighted average interest rate of 6 basis points, up 1 basis point from a year ago. Total par value of the U.S. Treasuries is $62.48 million with a weighted average yield and maturity of 1.46. That's up 1.4 from a year ago. Total balance of the money market account on August 31, 2022 was $3 million with a current yield of 5 basis points, and total investments are up $7.8 million from a year ago. And just to tell you, we're now receiving bids over 3% on U.S. Treasuries. So next month will look a little better on yield.
Kim, what was the timing of the sales tax? Is that reporting from?
So we're going to end up, we didn't We didn't have sales tax in August because it didn't post till September 1. We didn't get it till September 1, so we couldn't post it till September 1.
Gotcha, okay.
In our accounting system, you have to recognize revenue only when you receive it.
Okay. Any other questions or comments for Kim? Nope. Then do we have a motion?
I'll move to approve the August 2022 financial statement.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Burgess, second by Commissioner Jacobs. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes 3-0. Thank you, Kim. Now, citizen comments for non-agenda items.
Thank you. My name is Megan Zampieri Lilpop. I'm the Director of Client Services at Options, Domestic and Sexual Violence Services. Thank you for taking the time today and arriving a little bit early to declare October Domestic Violence Awareness Month in Hayes. I wanted to just briefly describe some of our upcoming events for October to help bring awareness and support to survivors. In Hayes and Hill City, we will have a purple tree lighting for on the city's main tree. So they will be purple throughout the month. And those are on October 3rd in Hill City and October 4th in Hayes. These will be at 7 p.m. We also are repeating a contest from last year. Turn the Light Salon is a request that beauty parlors, hairstylists decorate their windows in purple theme. And it's a small contest, but it's sponsored by Salon Centric. These Hayes events, by the way, I'll say that at the end. And the winner will receive a beautiful purple bow. There is a training that we do as part of our work for stylists and people who are intimately touching women or adults, men as well, who may see bruises, and how they can connect those clients with resources, connect them with us, and safely. We're also holding In Her Shoes at Hayes Public Library and at the Graham County Library. Hayes will host it on October 11th from 4:30 to 7:30, and Hill City will host it on October 17th from 2 to 5 p.m. This is an interactive experience. If you could liken it to choose your own adventure, I don't think that any of the choices in front of these characters would be ones we would wish. But it is it's an involved activity. It's very enlightening, and those who have participated have found it a very valuable experience. So I hope folks will come to that. Paint the Town Purple is a FHU student sponsored activity, and we're very excited to have that on Sunday, October 16th in the afternoon outside, again at the Pacific Park, Union Pacific Park. And Wear Purple Day is October 20th, and I hope everyone in Hayes is wearing purple on October 20th. In this last year, Options over our 18 county service area went from providing 9,400 services to 14,058 services. We were the first and currently are still the only domestic and sexual violence group that provides a text or a mobile app option in order to contact us. You can text HOPE to 847-411 in addition to calling our toll-free number, which I'll leave around for folks. They can connect to an advocate 24 hours a day. And in the works, we're also planning in the next couple of months to place computers in all the rest of the courthouses in our service area where we don't have an office, because a person who is coming to file for a protection from abuse order or a protection from stalking order may not be able to make that plan again. The clerk will have this laptop, and they will be able to connect to us on our Options telemed website, so that we can walk them through all of that paperwork and make the task less daunting. And I'm very excited about that project. Someday we will work ourselves out of a job, though, and that is that's our hope.
It'd be a
So,
great day.
Yeah, it would be a great day. So thank you. If you have any questions, I'll leave my cards too.
Wonderful.
Have a great day.
Thank you. Commissioners, any questions or anything?
No, I just, I've known Jennifer and the work that they've done there for quite some time, and it amazes me that the numbers continue to increase at the rate that they do. People should be very scared of numbers like that increasing. Anything we can do to help, we want to be able to do, and increasing awareness, I think, is one of the key issues. And you guys are doing a great job at that. Thank you very much.
Well said. Michael?
I don't think I can add anything more. I think that's exactly the goal, is to work your way out of that job. It's a valuable service, of course, but it's also a service that we all wish that we wouldn't have to have. But I'm glad you're there when it's needed. So thank you.
Thank you both very much. I appreciate what you guys do for our communities. Thank you, and we'll see you at the tree lighting. Yes. Awesome. All right. Next up, we have the consent agenda. Straightforward ordinance number 4020 and the cereal malt beverage license application.
I'll move approval of the consent agenda.
Seconded.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Nope. We'll call for a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, passes 3-0. Now we'll do the vehicle abatement at 2708 Barclay Drive.
Good evening. Jesse Rohr, Director of Public Works. Here to discuss possible vehicle abatement for consideration. This is at 2708 Barclay Drive. A little bit of background on this item. We actually started this process with this particular vehicle several months ago with the owner, providing all the necessary notices for them to remedy the vehicle to avoid abatement. Currently, the vehicle has no current legal tag. Before this week, it actually had other issues as well. I do want to say over the past week, since I was here last week at the work session, they have moved the vehicle around. They've repaired some tires on the vehicle. The vehicle has been running now. Staff did make personal contact with the owner today. They are fully aware of the situation. They know that all that is needed at this point is the current registration on the tag itself. They do hope to have that in the next 10 days. So we're still asking for approval of the resolution in the event that doesn't happen. But if it does, we don't have to take any action even if the resolution is passed. So like I say, the vehicle does look different than you see in the picture here. Like I say, the tires are up. It's roadworthy, it appears anyway, once it's tagged. So the options, of course, you could approve the resolution as proposed, which would allow us to abate it if it's not taken care of in the next 10 days or so. And again, I think the owner has the desire to do so, and it's our hopes they'll take care of it. And then this would be the action requested. And with that, I'd take any questions you might have.
Commissioners.
I'll move approval of resolution number 2022-013 to abate the vehicle located on the property at 2708 Barclay Drive, 10 days after the approval date.
Seconded.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments for Jesse? Pretty straightforward. I appreciate your guys' constant communication with the residents. I did drive by it and see it up on all 4 tires, so it's good to see that kind of progress. I'm glad they're looking to get the situation taken care of. So
Yeah, it's always our hope that they take care of themselves and we don't have to get involved. And if it takes a little push like this to make it happen, that's fine. So.
absolutely. Well, then I will call for a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes 3-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jesse. Now the resolution approving the assignment of the D&J Land and Development LLC Development Agreement. Kim Rupp.
Good evening, Kim Rupp, Director of Finance. The City of Hayes and D&J Land and Development LLC, whose principals are John Brown and Dan Hess, are parties to a development agreement dated May 14, 2020. That was amended on February 25th of 2021. This involves the project at 230th and I-70 for a travel, plaza, and truck wash. D&J now wish to assign its rights and obligations under the development agreement to Hess Land LLC, controlled by Dan Hess. The agreement does allow the assignment per the proposed assignment resolution. This does include a TIF and CID. None of that will be disturbed by this assignment. The clock on those will continue as originally agreed. There are no additional incentives being requested, and any out-of-pocket expenses will be paid by D&J and/or Hess Land. The city attorney, along with special counsel Gilmore and Bell, have reviewed all the documents and found they comply with Kansas law and the city's economic development policy. Given Dan Hess has been involved in this project from the beginning, city staff is comfortable with allowing Dan to assume responsibility under the development agreement. Pretty straightforward then tonight. Our options would be to adopt the resolution, decline, or provide us with other direction, and we would ask for the adoption.
I'll move to approve resolution number 2022-014, approving the development agreement assignment, authorizing the city to execute an approval of the proposed assignment documentation.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Burgess, second by Commissioner Jacobs. Any additional questions or comments? Pretty straightforward. Okay. I'll call for a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes 3-0. Thank you, Kim.
Thank you, Kim.
Thank you.
Now we'll move on to the public hearing regarding the issuance of the Grow Hayes Industrial Revenue Bonds and an exemption from ad valorem taxation of property constructed or purchased within the proceeds as such. I'll declare that public hearing open at 6:46.
Grow Hayes, a Kansas not-for-profit corporation, is proposing to construct a 30,000 square foot flexible manufacturing facility to help manufacturing startups to expand their business. Construction is expected to begin late in the third quarter of 2022 and take about 12 months. Grow Hayes is asking the city to authorize staff to begin preparation of documentation to provide for an industrial revenue bond, or IRB, issuance to support their project. So we thought we would go over IRBs a little. Just as a refresher, KSA 12-1740 allows cities to issue revenue bonds for the purpose of paying the cost to purchase, acquire, construct, or equip facilities for agricultural, commercial, hospital, industrial, natural resources, recreational development, and manufacturing purposes. An IRB issuance does not count against the city's debt limit, nor does it affect the city's debt rating, and does not require any taxpayer commitment. Instead, the city acts as a conduit issuer, and payment obligations are solely borne by the developer. Resolution of intent to issue IRBs being discussed tonight would allow Grow Hayes to apply for a sales tax exemption related to the construction of the project. As the bonds are not actually issued until substantial project completion, the resolution allows exemption for all state and local taxes. The issuance of IRBs also allows for up to 10 years in property tax abatement on the property acquired with proceeds of the bonds. That does exclude the capital outlay for the school district. This map shows their proposed location. Glassman Corporation is to the north and the Army Reserve Center to the south. That is considered 9th Street. Some financial considerations. Total cost of the project is estimated to be $3,781,000. That includes land acquisition, construction, furniture, fixtures, and equipment. Property tax abatement over that 10-year period is estimated to be about $828,000. Developer will front all the costs, and other than the IRB issue, there will not be any general obligation or special obligation bonds issued by the city. We have, obviously, we did publish the notice of hearing back on the 7th. We sent a letter to 489 in Ellis County about tonight's hearing. You're conducting the public hearing. So after you hear comment from the crowd.
That constitutes a crowd. There's four of them.
You'll close the hearing, and then the next item would be to adopt the resolution of intent. And then IRBs are issued at the end towards substantial completion, like we talked about. So options are to conduct a hearing and adopt the resolution, don't adopt the resolution, or give us other direction, and this would be our action after you close the hearing.
Any comments?
Jesse.
Once, twice, okay. Then I will ask for a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll move to close the public hearing.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, the public hearing is closed. And now we will move to the actual resolution.
I move we approve resolution number 2022-015, evidencing an intent to issue Grow Hayes industrial revenue bonds.
Second it.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes 3-0. Thank you, Monsignor up.
All right, thank you.
Toby.
Toby Doherty, City Manager. I have an add-on item tonight that I would like to present to the governing body for consideration. It involves a minor modification to the city's extraterritorial jurisdiction, or ETJ as we call it. This is just another view of the ETJ on satellite mode. What an ETJ is it is a territory outside of the city's limits where we can impose our regulations for zoning, platting, and that's it. We do not have police powers. It is only zoning and platting outside of the city limits. ETJs, the powers outside the city limits are allowed by state statute. In the absence of county zoning, cities are allowed to go up to 3 miles outside of their city limits to make sure we allow for orderly development and orderly growth. When a county has zoning, as does Ellis County, then it's ultimately the county that determines what the ETJ is, if there is any ETJ. In this case, the ETJ was set by the city and the county. It has been modified in the past. It has been set by a joint ordinance of the City of Hayes, resolution by the Board of County Commissioners. We have modified it 2 times, I believe. It was created, then it was modified again, and then most recently it was shrunk down a little bit, and then some county property has been removed. What we are bringing to you tonight is, if you look at the top of the visual, is a proposed removal of the property in red. The prompt behind this is Ellis County moving forward with a new public works facility in this vicinity. What this facility would do would create more county property, and we have exempted county property from the ETJ. And then because this is county property, it would create sort of a remnant tract up here, which, after visiting with the county administrator, we thought for orderly growth it may be in our best interest just to remove that as well. That area is probably going to grow in a manner that's not really desirable for our absorption anyway, and so we're more interested in protecting the area north of 55th Street, which does have the potential long-term for the type of growth we want. Keep in mind, as evidenced by me being here tonight, this is an ever-changing boundary, so this is not set in stone. It could be modified. If the city has growth spurts in some area, it can easily grow in order to accommodate that. So a little bit more of a close-up of the proposed removal right here. So right now, the city limits end up here. It's highly unlikely the pipe works is going to want to be in the city limits. They really don't need our services right now, and so they're probably not going to want to pay city taxes. And then the property here is really not suitable for our type of commercial development. And so with this property coming in, we felt like it was kind of important to remove as much as possible of the potential for undesirable. So the growth corridor for that area would be here, or it could come up the interstate, bypass this and come to here. That's probably going to be a little ways down the road, given that we have no utilities out there. So if the commission is amenable to this, the county commission has heard the proposed change. The county commission is supportive of it. After that discussion, I told the county administrator I would bring it to you, see what your thoughts were. If you were supportive of it, then we would ask the city attorney and the county councilor to prepare the necessary ordinance/resolution that would be brought back to you guys at a later date for action. So I would stand for any questions.
Commissioners.
I have no issue with it at all. It makes total sense, and the county has been in agreement with it, so I don't see any issues.
Yeah, I don't see any issue.
Yeah, it's a living, breathing boundary, so makes sense.
Sounds good. All right, thank you. We will prepare the necessary documentation and put it on either the second meeting in October or the first one in November.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Progress report.
Good evening, Colin Belzer, Assistant City Manager. For this month's progress report, Public Works has been very busy with concrete work. Here at 40th and Country Lane, they replaced an alley entrance. Did some curb, gutter, and sidewalk repair at 27th and Fort. Sidewalk and an ADA ramp at 28th and Oak. Stormwater basins, this was reported a month ago, but they continue to repair where it's settled, the sidewalk settled with the stormwater basins. Over near 12th and Canterbury, so because of heat, actually a section of the sidewalk buckled, and they were able to kind of just lift it up, shave off a couple inches, grind it or whatever the technical term is that Jesse would know, set it back down. And so they didn't have to remove and replace a full panel. Stormwater Superintendent Joe Billinger held a cleanup event at the Skyline Draw Rain Garden, so right kind of behind Whiskey Creek and Days in that area. It did include 25 participants from the Fort Hays State Geoscience Club, agricultural students, Kansas State RAPS, which is Stacy Minson's group. This is amazing. I had to call Jesse to make sure this was accurate, but the total weight of trash that was collected and properly disposed was 160 pounds of municipal waste and 720 pounds of commercial debris.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
I know, it's amazing, isn't it?
And just that drop down, oh my goodness.
All the water that runs from the parking
Yeah.
lots on the businesses along
Yeah.
Vine Street goes into that draw. That's where the trash comes from.
So
Wow.
it's great. We have volunteers that help, clean up the community. Hayes Fire Department, they do monthly training. This was a technical rescue scenario where they completed training on how to move heavy objects, which is hand tools, and check for trapped victims. Several members also participated in Fort Hays State's 9/11 memorial event that took place on September 10th. The Operation Western Partnership 2, it's a technical rescue training event that started in 2021 with Goodland Sherman County Fire Department. Last year, Hayes hosted the group, and they came out and did some training this year. Hayes went to Goodland and trained on building collapse and other types of technical rescues. Parks Department, each of West Frontier Park shelters needed some stonework repairs. These shelters were originally constructed in 1939, and so numerous stones were either damaged and or missing. So you can see some before and after work. The new restroom at Seven Hills Park was open for use. Staff planted grass and constructed a temporary irrigation system for the area. Annual ryegrass was planted this fall, but next spring they'll plant buffalo grass.
They're the best grass growers. Those guys are so good.
Park staff also helped haul soil to the new fire department's classroom building for their construction. They also graded for the 8A ramp, and then the Public Works Department will actually construct the sidewalk to the building. Staff pulled the Wilson Pool pump for repairs, and it is now repaired, and it's ready to be, or it's been reinstalled for next year's pool season. 6 new combination football soccer goals have been installed. Also at Bickle Schmidt, a plaque is being made to recognize those who play a significant role in making the recent artificial turf and shade structures possible. That'll be placed. We'll let you know when that is finished. For IT, so similar to the law enforcement last month, Law Enforcement Center, in order to achieve efficiency goals, Midwest Energy requested the ability to completely cut power to City Hall for approximately 90 minutes. They were replacing a building transformer. Obviously, this is a critical facility, so an outage like this not only affects the fire department, but also city facilities with our IT infrastructure across the hall. So cooperation and preparation between Midwest Energy staff and the fire department and city IT resulted in a successful project with no downtime of IT infrastructure. Officer Eric Beaker read to children at the library on September 6th, and he also joined them on other local first responders in giving tours of their vehicles. Detective Sergeant Aaron Larson spoke with Fort Hays State University senior companions about fraud, scams, identity theft, and ways to help prevent being a victim of these crimes. The Hays Police Department also participated in the 9/11 Memorial, served as the honor guard, and then officers also joined other first responders and members of the community climbing stairs and walking laps. Mark Pfeiffer, senior plant operator, gave a tour of the water plant to 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders from Sacred Heart School in Plainville. Bob Schubert, distribution and collection supervisor, attended the Kansas chapter of American Water Works Association, Kansas Water Environment Association joint conference, and they do an event called the Backhoe Rodeo, and Bob took 2nd place.
That's fantastic.
Jason Regal, our water reclamation reuse superintendent, he accepted the 2022 Kansas Water Environment Association Dungdee Award. It's presented to the city of Hays for excellent in wastewater. On September 9th and 10th, Melissa Dixon and Janet Kuhn hosted travel writers from Missouri, Texas, and Nebraska as part of the Kansas Tourism Familiarization Tour. Their itinerary was set by Kansas tourism staff and included the Sternberg Museum and Hays Bison Herd, as well as other attractions in the area. Janet Kuhn represented Hays at the Kansas State Fair in Hutchinson as part of the delegation from Northwest Kansas Travel Council. And on September 16th, the CVB held a press conference at the Welcome Center so that the Kansas Shrine Bowl officials could announce their first ever presenting game sponsor, Mammoth Sports Construction, as well as head coaches for the East and West teams. After a competitive bid process, Hays was chosen to be the host community for the 50th annual event.
And have the head coach. for
Head
the
coach
West.
from Hays High.
Yes, true.
Uh-huh.
Brandon Cooley compiled new and existing footage for the fall 2022 Visit Hays video, which is currently running on multiple digital platforms.
It's easy to find family-friendly fun in Hays, Kansas, and there's always something new to see and do. We're especially proud of our new Arc Park, an all-accessible playground for children of all abilities. So bring your friends and your appetite, because we can't wait to welcome you to Hays. Make your plans at visithays.com.
They do great work.
They really do.
South Vine Street reconstruction, that is continuing to progress. Smoky Hill Construction did begin pouring back the first lanes of pavement on August 8th. Over the past few weeks, they've replaced the center lanes south of the railroad tracks and have begun pouring the center lanes north of the tracks. And on September 9th, they switched traffic to allow the removal of pavement along the east side of Vine between 8th Street and the old 40 bypass. So the allowable KDOT contract days will run out by the end of October. There's still hope for project completion before winter weather sets in, though. After completing curb and brick repairs at 7th and Fort, 1100 block of Fort, and 10th and Ash, J-Corps has moved to 300 block of West 16th. That's expected to be complete in the next few days, and after that, they'll move to the 300 block of East 11th between Pine and Allen. Doug Williams and I presented on the housing presentation.
Look at that guy.
I know. So I was told it was the biggest crowd ever.
When you were speaking, there was no doubt it was.
Yeah. They all left shortly after I was done speaking. Huh? Captivatedly listening to me somewhere in the back.
Filled the whole basement.
Filled the whole basement.
It was a good attendance.
Awesome. Jesse, before I forget, because I will, stormwater basin at the northeast corner of 33rd and Hillcrest. I don't know if it's on the list, but would you check? That one's pretty bad. I know people will walk through the lady's yard to go around it because they can't get strollers over it. Okay.
33rd and Hillcrest.
I see it every day.
Right by the
Oh,
old
you're
park.
real close there.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to picture.
Yes,
the
right by the
road.
art park.
Yeah.
Any other questions or comments about progress?
Lots of progress. Good
Good to
progress.
see. Lots of good faces up there too. Appreciate it. Big crowds. Now we'll move on to Hayes happenings and upcoming events.
Good evening, Colin Belzer, Assistant City Manager. I'm going to do my best to make Melissa proud. So the downtown Hayes Market wraps up its season in October, with the last market being Saturday, October 22nd. Paws Pumpkin Patch, which is just 4 miles south of Hayes, they plan on opening for the fall on Saturday, October 1st. One of the largest events at RPM Speedway is that Fall Nationals will be Saturday, October 1st at the Speedway at Ellis County Fairgrounds. Organizers are expecting approximately 200 race teams with an average of 5 people per team from more than 10 states. So, very big for Hayes. The Hayes Symphony kicks off its season at Beach Schmidt Performing Arts Center on Saturday, October 1st. All concerts are free to the public. The second week in October is a big weekend for football. Hayes High will celebrate their homecoming with the bonfire Thursday night, then parade and football game on Friday night. Fort Hays State also brings their homecoming weekend with the bonfire Thursday night, the parade, and football game on Saturday. The 50th annual Oktoberfest, of course, coincides with Fort Hays State's homecoming, and opening ceremonies will begin Friday, October 7th at 10:30 a.m. Special activities include an attempt at the world's largest beer rock.
You cannot believe how many people are coming back to town for this year's Oktoberfest to see that. I'm amazed.
The annual Farm to Fork dinner that showcases ingredients from the downtown Hayes Market will take place on Thursday, October 13th at the Strand Event Center. There are only 100 tickets that will be sold, so if you're interested, make sure you reach out to downtown Hayes. The Hayes Community Theater will once again present the Rocky Horror Picture Show in the downtown pavilion, October 28th and 29th. The performance is for audiences 18 and older, though. On October 25th, the Fort Hays State University Encore Series kicks off its season with Circa Mechanics Zephyr, which describes itself as stories wrapped in circus, acrobatics, mechanical wonders, and a bit of clowning around. On Sunday, October 30th, the Hayes Symphony will present Disney Magic for their annual children's Halloween concert. All are welcome to attend in costume.
That's really a special event, if I could interrupt, Colin, for
course.
kids in the community, since it's actually the day before Halloween. They come in costume. We have costume parades. We have what we call musical petting zoos, where they can come and interact with violins, and it's really great fun for the kids. We usually have about 250 to 300 kids there, so we're anxious to see that happen again.
I'm looking.
With Disney music?
What?
And with Disney music?
And with Disney music.
Be a good day.
Your little girls need to be
Parents
there.
will, parents will love it. Trick or Treat on the Bricks, October 31st, 3 to 5 p.m. in downtown Hayes. And then Big Creek Crossing Mall will also have special trick-or-treating activities on October 31st from 3 to 5 p.m. And there's a lot more. Obviously, go to visithays.com to see the other events.
You don't have the picture of the car that I picked.
Sorry.
That is a pretty car there. Third one in right there. That Chevelle.
I'll tell Andrea that she put the wrong photo in there.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Anybody that says there's nothing to do in Hayes, Kansas needs to spend a little bit a minute with Melissa and her team.
Yeah. Thank you, Colin. I'll tell Melissa you did good.
Thanks. Thank you.
All right, so we'll move on to commission inquiries and comments. Commissioner Jacobs.
Oh, I have one thing I'd like to ask to have put on the next work session agenda, if I might, and that's commission meeting times. I actually was at the county commission meeting this last Monday, and they changed their meeting. Now, for me, I don't know that I have a feeling one way or another. I'm fine probably either way, but some of the opportunities that they offered in having it during work hours rather than outside of work hours, I'm going to share with you guys tonight for your consideration. I also, Toby actually through his polling unit he has with city managers, was able to put together a list of who is in the days and nights for whatever reason you want to think about. But the main reason I'm asking to have us look at it, if my fellow commissioners agree to have it on the agenda, is I think there's a lot of staff benefit in it. And that is really important to me when I think about employee work-life balance, things like that. I think it's a quality of life thing. So I'd like to at least have the discussion unless everybody thinks it's a bad idea.
I'm okay having.
There's some information for you, some information for you. And I'll see that Reese and Sean get it as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else?
I don't think so.
All right. Thank you. So we'll put that on the next available work session then? Awesome. Thank you. Mr. Burgess?
I don't have anything.
I told TMP that I would wear their shirt because I'm also an alumni. They start their homecoming festivities this week. So good luck to them. Go Monarchs. And then they'll be at the Fort Hayes game on Saturday to defend the fort. So that's awesome to look forward to. Other than that, I don't really have much. Enjoy the cool till the heat comes back. We'll adjourn at 7-Eleven.